Hello, friends and lovers. We are starting the Mafia romance readathon. So I technically am already one book deep because I didn't stop to film because I was so obsessed with the book. I literally started it last night before I went to bed, and I was like, cool, when I start this vlog, I'll have a little bit to tell you about, but no. So I finished the whole thing already. I'm doing the bingo board. So here's the bingo board. So starting off, you already have the 2 free spaces. And now that I finished Nero by S.J. Tilley, she's up there as my new to me author because I haven't tried her yet. And I had been seeing her everywhere. I have heard about this series quite a bit, and I've heard that it gets better with each book. So yes, so Nero by S.J. Tilley, like when I tell you, like there was parts of this that like made me laugh. Like I had a good chuckle. He, at the beginning of this, like steals her body wash and is like basically like huffing it. And she realizes he took it because like she's in the shower and she goes to reach for it. And instead she picks up $100 bill and she's like, And why was he in her house? Oh, because she was watching a movie in her 2nd story apartment with her like sliding glass door open, and he just appears and then sits down with her on the couch and starts watching this movie with her. So, you know, normal behavior. So, like, that's their meet cute, is he just shows up. And then, like, you hear, like, cop sirens in the background, and you realize he's, like, running from the cops. So, of course, like, this girl just, like, falls asleep while he's there. She's like, intruder? Not worried about it. Got to get my 8 in. So, yeah. So she wakes up and takes a shower, and she finds her $100 bill. And then he is kind of like becoming obsessed with her and has his friend go into the coffee shop that she works at, and his friend like asks her for her favorite drink and he gives it to the hero, and the hero like is like huffing it. He's like, this is the smell of the coffee she loves. Just like there is something so magical about Mafia romance. Truly. There was definitely like some cute parts and some highlights, but I just don't think this is going to be something that sticks with me that long. So hopefully I can pick up the next book. I don't know if I'll do it during this readathon, but I am picking up Power by Victoria Woods. She reached out to me when I asked on Threads for some recommendations. And so far I am 2 chapters deep in this, and so far so good. It's only 250 pages. So, you know, I'm hoping for the best. This is kind of like a dark mafia but office set romance. Like she's their employee because they're like tech CEOs and you know, run some criminal enterprises. Not one to absolutely love office romances, but maybe what was missing was murder. So I look forward to continue reading and sharing my updates with you. Bye. I was gonna go to the other room and update you, but I have not 1 cat, but 2 cats. So that won't be happening. So we'll be updating from right here, huh? He's purring because I'm talking. So it's been a while since I updated you. I actually tried to film a clip and then I realized I forgot that the dryer was running in the background the whole time. So I rewatched part of it and I was like, this is unusable. So anyway, I will give you the TLDR of what that clip was for. So basically, I DNF'd Power because I realized it was just making me really struggle to like want to keep going. Not in life, but in the readathon. So I was like, okay, because I read like 50 pages. And there were some like spelling and like sentence structure issues that kind of bugged me, but I was like, okay, it's a debut. But then there was like this scene where the heroine is assaulted and the hero like saves her, but like immediately after she's like turned on by him. And I was just like, could these be 2 separate scenes maybe? I don't know. Something to me was just weird about that. So I was like, okay, like let's just put that one to the side. And so then I started Neva Ajay because I was like, okay, we need someone that I know will deliver. And oh boy, so I started Darkest Sins, and oh my god, like potential 5-star. I am already 40% of the way through, and
it's just so good. So the setup for this one is basically this girl saves a guy who's like bleeding out in a parking lot. Like she sees him and she like pulls over and helps him, and she works at a vet clinic, so she takes him to the vet clinic and like stitches him up. But what she doesn't know is that this man is like a psycho hitman, and he becomes like a little obsessed with her because he's never really had like a relationship, a friend even, like, but he was basically like raised to be a mercenary, and so he's like discovering the power of feelings. And so he becomes like very protective over her and is like basically stalking her and following wherever she's going. And I don't know, it's like there's so much yearning and tension, and you're going back and forth between the past timeline, because at the beginning you get like a present prologue, so you know that there's a time jump at some point because you start in past chapters and then you get like little vignettes of him like being raised as a mercenary, and so you kind of get like why he is the way he is, and you know, like his thought process, because he's definitely very different kind of hero. He's just like attack first, ask questions later type guy. Like he's not a good dude, but he's kind of hot, so we persist.
Oh my god. So I was going to do, you know, like tons of reading today. And maybe I lied to myself a little bit, but I was like, because I had the apartment to myself a lot today, so I was like, okay, I need to chill. But I ended up on like a 2-hour phone call with my friend who's in law school, but it was really great to like catch up with her and kind of like, you know, we went to college together, and so it's always really nice to like check in. We kind of have like probably like bi-monthly calls because she's like super busy with law school, but it's always like great to connect because one, we've known each other almost 14 years at this point, so it's always great to connect with someone who I feel like truly knows you. Just being able to talk with her, I feel like lifts my spirits. So now to get back to some reading, I did get to about, I think I'm around 50% in this, and I'm gonna sit down and read for a bit right now and, you know, focus in on this. Honestly, if I could finish this today, which I think I will. Oh, and I wanted to tell you about this really cute part in this book. So I did tell you he's basically like a hitman, and then he starts like stalking her as being her like guardian angel and protecting her. But I love that in his internal monologue, like kind of early on, he starts calling her my girl. And it's so cute, like, because you only notice it like I said, in his internal monologue. And so you like knowing that like that's how like he thinks of her, and he's always like looking forward to seeing her, even when he has to like go do hitman things, you know, as a hitman does. But let's see, I didn't have this downloaded on my Kindle. I was reading it on my phone earlier, but I want to switch to my Kindle because I feel like sometimes I can lock in faster. But yeah, I'm just having such a good time. And then there was also a part where she's talking about how she has like a herb garden, and he can see it because he stalks her through the window. So he was like, what are those leaves? And so she tells him, but she's like, oh, like my parsley's kind of dried out, so I need to like either see if I can like revive it or I need to get a new one. And so he goes and he like threatens a florist to tell him where he can go buy some parsley for him to plant for her. And he ends up like going to someone's garden to try to find it, and he accidentally brings her like parsnips instead of parsley. Because I think he doesn't super know how to read, so I think he like tried to look it up on his phone and got a little astray. But I thought it was so cute. And so their first like date is she takes him to like a farmer's market and shows him like the difference between the herbs and like has him smell it and stuff. And it's so cute. And he's like maybe I shouldn't have worn my like tactical vest and my my shoulder harnesses to the farmer's market that he has like hidden under his jacket. So he's like such a fun character to like read his thoughts from. Such a foreign world because he was like raised to be a mercenary, and so he's just never had like normal life. And he also, I don't think he's aware that our heroine is actually like a mafia don's daughter. And so something that she keeps saying is that right now she isn't being asked to like marry someone she doesn't want to. And so the possibility keeps being brought up. So part of me worries that that's going to happen. But anyway, let's get to reading. Honestly, this could be a 5-star. Like I'm feeling so good about it. I feel like this is a weird thing to have out because it looks like a teething toy, but only adults live in this apartment. It's like a stress thing. Someone got it for me once at work. Do you think they thought I was stressed out or something? Anyway, so I've been hanging out. I've been reading. I brought my ring light out here just so that we have good lighting in this room during a vlog for once. I have absolutely been loving Darkest Sins. It got really emotional. I was reading right before I took like a small nap. Like I only napped for maybe 30 minutes, but I was reading and I like couldn't stop reading because I like laid down to take a nap an hour before and then I didn't fall asleep for an hour. And so I was like, okay, well, you don't really have time to nap because it's already 6 p.m. Merlin, you are shaking the whole tower. Okay, he's here. Okay, I don't even know if he's had a part in this vlog yet, but here he is, my son. We took a nap together. Well, I read mostly and he napped. And then I fell asleep for maybe 20 minutes. But anyway, Darkest Sins, just, oh my God. I am so emotionally invested. We finally... Anyway, sorry. My cats are trying to ruin this video because mommy wants good lighting and they wanted to destroy it. Like, got to the part where we catch up to the present and we find out everything that happened in the past. There's still like a lot of stuff that needs to get resolved. We have about 60 pages left. Because of the changes that happened, because of the past, there is a lot of stuff. Hello, Gizmo. There is just so many things that are still happening. So the plot is plotting. Like this is definitely not a just all romance book. There is a moving plot. I don't know. I'm like in it. I'm still feeling like I'm going to give this 5 stars. Like I was getting emotional while I was reading it. Like I wanted them to work out so bad. And obviously like when you're reading romance, like, you know, it's gonna work out, but it's like, how satisfying is the story gonna be? Like, is there one when there's like kind of like the second chance moment, like when there's a time jump, it's like, okay, what kept them apart? And is it like good enough for you to believe that like they deserve to like be back together? And I feel like this book like really successfully convinced me that like, yes, they should still be together. Yeah, so I'm just having like so many emotions while I'm reading it. And I definitely think I'm gonna finish it tonight. Like, I don't even know how I keep going on with the readathon at this point because I already read the best book, you know? Like, I read the best book of the readathon already. Like, there's just no way. Like, unless I reread some of my favorite Mafia romances, now I'm just like, ooh. But there are other Mafia romances that I guess could be as good. But I don't know. I feel like every time I have, like, a 5-star book, I'm like... there's no way I'm gonna find a book that I love as much as this one. I'm like, it's never gonna happen again. I say when I find like, you know, 50 a year. But yeah, I'll probably update you in the morning because I need to eat dinner. I haven't eaten in like several hours. I probably should have, but I'm waiting for my boyfriend to get like home from this thing he's doing today. And then once he's home, I can, I can eat, because we're probably going to order food that we can have together. So I'm just waiting on him. And the cats are being very cute. Anyway, do you want to say hi? Princess does say hi. Hello, good morning. So I did end up finishing Darkest Sins last night. 5 stars. I loved it. It was great. I was just having such a good time while reading it, and I feel like the ending was also just like really cute. And I was like actively laughing, and I was rooting for Mafia Hitman, okay? He was very swoon worthy, okay? But overall, just like a fantastic time. And so, yes, so this is where the bingo board is right now. So I need to, I still have some reading to do. So I was trying to find one that would cover some multiple spots again. I decided to stop being Delulu. I'm not going to do 1 book per prompt because there's only so much Mafia a girl can read in a row. So I did remember that I've never finished the Kings of Italy series by Mina Finelli. And so I decided I was going to pick up Mafia Virgin. And she, I believe, ticks off 2 or 3 of these. I needed a Mafia read and also an arranged marriage read. This is where we are right now. Right now it is 6 a.m. It's 6 a.m. because I have, for some reason, a medical test at 7:45 in the morning, which is crazy. And I'm not allowed to like eat or drink anything beforehand. So I'm taking my Kindle with me because the place I'm going is right by a Starbucks. So after, I make myself be a good adult and go get this test, I am going to let myself, go get some Starbucks. I don't know if the Starbucks has like places to sit, but if it does, I will go in there and I will read for a little bit, because by the time I'm trying to come back, it's going to be like peak rush hour. So I don't know if I should just like have coffee and a pastry and chill for a little bit. So I'm going to take you with me. So let's go get our medical test and some Starbucks.
Okay, so we've made it. I'm home. I've been home for several hours now. There was like 2 seats inside that Starbucks and both of them were taken. So I was like, okay, I'm home. Kept reading my book and then I've been just hanging out. I did take a little nap because I cannot be denied my simple life pleasure of being unconscious. I think it's one of my favorite parts of being alive. But anyway, I'm like 100 pages in to Mafia Virgin now. Wow, the setup for this one, like it kind of like takes off right away. So it starts off with this like meeting where basically there is like a governing council in Europe of these different like mafia dons that like operate in different sections. And so throughout this series, we meet like the different mafia dons in the different areas. So this one particularly is a Sicilian don, and so he's in Sicily but he's having issues with one of the other dons from the other books. And so the council thinks that the solution to this is that they get attached through marriage, because that's just what you do in the mafia lifestyle. And he doesn't want to do it for several reasons. One, the girl that's offered to him is 20 and he's 32. And so he's like, no, thank you, though. And also, like, he just, like, doesn't want to get married. He's like, I don't see why I should have to do that. Which, like, fair, dude. Like, why should you? Even though, this is already, like, a kind of misogynistic society as is. But yeah, it's just wild. So it starts off, and the guy, since all of the Dons were basically like, no, we don't think this marriage should happen. But the council guy who's in charge of that area, he's like, not, it's gonna happen. And so he like goes and basically kidnaps the girl and like threatens her. And then he also like convinces the Sicilian Don to show up so that he has to marry her, and also like threatens him with something. And so now they have to go through it. And so after they're married, you also find out that he's like, oh, now you guys need to make a baby. Yeah, I don't know why. I think just because it ties them together, maybe he's worried that the other Dons, when they find out, will like try to like kidnap the girl again. I don't know. But yeah, so there's a lot going on. And so, of course, like the Sicilian guy, they also call him Mo. So let's just call him Mo. So Mo, obviously, like, he didn't want to get married. He doesn't want to be a father. And so, of course, he starts investigating if he can just, like, off this guy who's asking him to do things that he doesn't want to do. And obviously, the girl's also, like, she's, like, very ambitious. She wants to be a doctor. And her dad, who is in the Mafia, but in Canada, because, you know, Canadian Mafia needed. Her father had let her like go to medical school, and so she's been going to medical school. So now she's doing it like online from Europe while she's like lying to her sisters, because she feels like if she tells her sisters, like basically like this house of cards and like lies and things she's been keeping from them are going to come to light, because like that's what the guy's threatening her with. So there's a lot of like tension and things going on where you feel like they're between a rock and a hard place. And obviously they have to consider if they actually do need to, you know, get pregnant or not, so that this guy can leave them alone and not basically ruin their life any more than he already is. Pretty good tension between them. So you like feel this kind of like sexual tension between them, obviously. And so I know that's going to be explosive when we get there. Like, that's something that I felt in all of these books, is because they all have like a high level of danger. Because what I love in a Mafia romance is I want to feel like the world is tangibly dangerous. I don't want it to be like all sunshine and rainbows and he's a big bad Mafia Don, nothing bad ever happens. No. Boring. Big cinnamon roll man with gun? Uninterested. I want him to be diabolical. I want him to fuck shit up. So yeah, so I'm already having a good time with this one. I was really worried after reading Darkest Sins, and so I felt like I did need to pick up an author like that I know and trust. And Mina Finelli, who is also Joanna Shupe, by the way, the historical romance author, she just always has not like hit it out of the park for me, but I've always had like a good time reading her books. And honestly, there's one book of hers that I think about a lot. It's the Mafia Hitman, which is there's an MM one in the group where the guy like falls in love with the hitman who was tasked with killing him, and it was hot. Like, that was hot. Like, I loved them. But yeah. Okay, so we're only about 100 pages in, so I think that's like 30%. So hopefully I just like keep making, you know, more progress. Hopefully by the end of today, I'm like halfway through. Sorry, we were in my bad kitchen light after I went on a walk, because I had to tell you guys while I was reading, like, the guy's like Sicilian or Italian, whatever. Like, I know those things are different, but like, he keeps saying Mamma Mia, but every time I see it, I go, Mamma Mia. And so they were like doing like a sexy scene. And I'm just like, Mamma Mia. Like, I'm trying really hard to take it seriously. Oh my God. So I feel like this angle's so bad. You're on a mound of stuffed animals right now. So have some faith. Okay. So I'm about to be done with Mafia Virgin, and it's just so good. Like, I feel like if you want a book that's literally like nonstop, that's paced super well, that's gonna like pull you in right away, I just feel like her series
are just perfect. Obviously, like, she's been an author for a really long time. Like, she's good at the shit she's doing. And I just feel like I was entertained through the whole thing. Like, I was never, like, uninterested in anything that was going on. Like, I felt like the tension and the believability of the characters and their feelings, like, you could, like, tangibly feel it. You feel like this one's gonna be 4, maybe 4.5. Ooh. But yeah, I have like 20 pages left. So yeah. So I realized yesterday that one of my libraries actually got Hoopla, and I haven't had access to Hoopla ever. And so I'm very excited because there's actually like so many indie romance authors on there, and I feel like I have unlocked the vault, you know? Like I've been allowed inside. Like, I'm smiling like too much to have access to a library. But I went on there and I was like, okay, we have 4 spaces left. So this is where we are right now after Mafia Virgin. So we have 4 spaces left. And I found one that would take out Bratva and the audiobook square. So I got Devil in Moscow. I actually don't know a lot about this. I literally read the synopsis and now, like, it's kind of out of my brain because I feel like it did kind of have like a generic, like I've been hurt before, I have man trauma, and now I feel myself attracted to dangerous mafia man, like, type vibe. And I was just like, okay, sign me up. I feel like with some mafia books, like, until you start it, you cannot tell if it's gonna be like for you or not. So yes, so I picked up Devil in Moscow. I saw that Jen from the Book Refuge read this for the Mafia Readathon, so I was like, okay, I'll take that as my sign to try this, because yeah, I was scrolling through Hoopla, I saw it on there, and I was like, okay, Bratva audiobook, good to go. How am I gonna find a captive single parent romance? I don't know. We'll worry about that next. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna finish Mafia Virgin, and then I'm gonna start Devil in Moscow. Good progress on that, so that way I can give you an update about, like, a little bit more meaty description of what it's about. So, did I finish The Devil in Moscow? Like, super quick? Yeah. It's already done. She's done. So, it was surprisingly, like, very dark and very wholesome. Let me explain. So, it starts out with this girl is in college and her parents pick her up and tell her that her father has acquired a bunch of debt and that she needs to go work at this lounge. Well, the lounge turns out to be a brothel, and she's there against her will. That's the dark part. So, luckily, you know, she's only there for like 2 weeks, but I will say it is graphic. There is on-page stuff that is uncomfortable to read. I even at one point was like, oh, like, do I want to read this? But it did, like, it wrapped up quickly. So I was like, thank you for the trauma, because I was like, oh my God. Then starts the most wholesome mafia romance I have ever read. Like, this guy is instantly down bad for her. It's literally like, I'll wait for you. I never need, like, another woman. Like, I don't care if you ever, like, want to have sex with me, like, whatever. He was just an angel on God's earth who kills people. And so naturally, like, well, first he steals her from the brothel, and then he makes a list of all of the people who did her wrong, and then he systematically murders them all. So, like, it's so wholesome. Like, love is real, besties. Love is real. So this is where, after Devil in Moscow, the bingo board's at. We have 2 more squares to go, and I won't lie, I'm losing steam, but I did start King by S.J. Tilley, because this is a captive romance. What happens is a woman, her main female character, she decides to bring a date to bring over her friend some lasagna because her friend just had surgery, and so they were just gonna go over and, like, talk to her for a little bit and then go. But what ends up happening is she shows up with the guy she's been dating, and inside is a brother and sister, and unbeknownst to her, the guy she's been dating is the husband. of the person in the house. So, of course, craziness ensues. What she doesn't know is that that girl's brother in the mafia. So after this whole debacle takes place, she realizes that she left her keys in this guy's apartment. So she's like, okay. And she's like, it was kind of funny because she pulls up to his apartment and she was like, this didn't seem as swanky of a place as I would have pictured him living. And then she was like, it's a fuck pad. And I was like, it is a fuck pad. And so, and by the way, she'd only been on 3 dates with the guy. She hasn't even slept with him. And so all of this drama's going on for a guy that she went on like 2.5 dates with before she was confronted with the wife, you know? So she goes to get her keys back from this guy's apartment. But what she finds is that the mafia guy's killing him. And so the mafia guy is like, well, now you saw me commit a crime. So now obviously I have to abduct you and make you marry me. And he's like obsessed with her like almost right away. And yeah, so she's like on his estate now and she's like a world-class painter and just, you know, some fun, freaky times are ensuing. But yeah, like there's something that is like very compulsively readable about S.J. Tilly, even though like sometimes like she really leans in to like the wild, possessive mafioso hero. Like she's all in. And like, so then I am by default all in. This is definitely better than Nero, just because I just feel like the setup of Nero wasn't as interesting or as like fun. Like I want a little kidnapping, a little arranged marriage, you know, just like a little freaky time. I think you can tell I'm still having a good time. So I'm good I didn't listen to myself where I was like, oh, I'm losing steam. Part of me was like, oh, after Devil in Moscow, I was like, maybe I can just end here. But now I'm like so close. And now I've been hunting online for a single parent mafia romance. I don't know why it's so hard. I feel like mafia men have multiple children all the time. Can I find them? No, but I know they exist. So we soldier on. I am already almost done with King. I don't know what happened. I'm zooming right now. I think it's because I know like the end is in sight, but I am still having a good time. I feel like you could feel it from the update I made earlier. I am feeling really good. So I feel like I did a pretty good job of giving you the setup of King. There isn't like too much to really update on because I feel like it is like, it's not a new mafia story. It's not really like, I'm like, there's just so many men kidnapping women and making them marry them. But to be fair, that happened in the last 2 books. So, you know, it just doesn't feel original anymore. But I mean, it's still a fun time. Like, don't knock it till you try it, ladies. I've just been like locked in today. I got this audiobook from Hoopla because I've been a tad obsessed with Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley beast in me has awakened and she's hungry, you know? So I've just been playing Stardew Valley and listening to, you know, women get kidnapped and forced into marriage. Just a normal Wednesday. I don't really know like what else there is I could say about this that like wouldn't be a spoiler, but I feel like if you know the setup, you basically know everything that's going to happen. Like, I think it's a 4-star. It's just like a solid, fun time. And I do love that, obviously, like, he's a mafia man. So, of course, he's a little crazy. He's a little wild. So sometimes he does things that are unhinged and you're like, okay, oh, this is something that's funny. Okay, so he finds all of his wife's exes and he buys all of the companies they work with and do a layoff for one person each. And then he buys a company in Alaska and hires all of them. Like, he said, like, for good money so that, like, moving to Alaska would be enticing. And he did have the thought, he's like, how long until they all realize that they like dated the same woman? And like, maybe that's why they're out there. So I felt like that was creative. You know, like he didn't kill them all. He's paying them to be far away. I love it.
We've done it, guys. We have finished the Mafia romance readathon. I finished King, and I just had such a good time with this. And it also ends in a way that I feel like I haven't seen a Mafia romance end. Like, and I feel like I don't want to give it away either, because I think it was such a treat and a delight for me as a, you know, Mafia romance reader to see it kind of like just have consequences that I think would happen in a normal romance, but usually in Mafia it's a little overlooked. But I just, this readathon really alived something in me. And I felt bad for a little bit, because I was like, man, I only have one square left on my bingo board. Here we are. When we have King, we have one left. But you guys, you might hate me for saying this. In a way, if we think about it, if we use our brains to the fullest of their capacity, isn't Captor Captive, in a way, single parenting? Can you tell I'm ready to be done binging Mafia romance? So here we are. Like, not because I didn't have a good time, but just because I feel like I do this all the time, where I get like obsessive about one thing and then I will read it to death until I'm literally like sick of it. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I will eat sugar until I am bloated on the floor, being like, oh, my tummy hurts. And then I'm still like, could I fit more candy in there? And that's me. So we're being kind to Jana today, and we're letting her off the hook. So here we are. We have made blackout bingo for the Mafia romance readathon. I had such a good time, and I've already edited the whole rest of the video, and I am just so happy with how, one, it turned out, and also I can tangibly feel my joy while I'm reading these books. I made this channel to share my love of reading about men who capture women and force them into marriage. Like, I don't know, it's just so much fun. But anyway, so thank you so much for joining me on my Mafia romance reading journey, and I'll see you all next time.